Right now, Thomas Markle Jr. has lashed out at his sister in the most brutal interview he has ever given.
Royal family, you should be so thankful this woman wanted to leave, because she's not going to bring any good to the branding of royal. She's going to downgrade it to a level of ghetto, and that's what it is. This is just bad.
About a year ago, while Thomas Markle was recovering in a hospital bed thousands of miles away, he reportedly lost his leg. According to public reports and online discussions surrounding the situation, his daughter allegedly never came to visit him. There was reportedly no phone call, no trip overseas, and no bedside appearance. Instead, some online commenters claimed that she sent a letter several days later before returning to her cameras and public appearances.
Now, after this point, when you've had 7 years knowing my father's phone number, it hasn't changed for 15 years. It's the same phone number. You have not reached out. You have not texted. You have not called.
That is the same woman the world often celebrates as compassionate, frequently portraying her as a humanitarian who speaks about love, empathy, and kindness from the comfort of her luxurious 9-bedroom mansion on Netflix. Yet according to online criticism, some people argue that when the cameras were no longer recording, that same compassion was nowhere to be seen for the man who helped raise her.
Meghan's going to realize that she's obviously missing out on a really good, tight-knit family. I mean, we're all still together all the time, no matter what, and you can't put a price on it.
Meghan Markle built her public image around warmth and compassion, but critics argue that those qualities have not always been reflected in her real-life actions. Her father, who once played an important role in her life, is reportedly going through a difficult period, while critics claim she has remained distant from him for years. That is one reason the online reaction has remained so intense. For many viewers, this was never simply about a family dispute. They see it as a contrast between the compassionate image presented to the public and the behavior they believe has appeared behind the scenes. Critics argue that the higher someone's reputation for kindness becomes, the more attention their perceived coldness receives. Supporters, however, say the situation is far more complicated and that private family conflict should not be turned into a public judgment. But the discussion keeps coming back to one central issue. When someone's public image is built around empathy and compassion, people naturally pay attention to moments that appear to contradict that image, and they're going to discuss what they see. One critic went even further, arguing that without her father's support, she might never have reached the position she holds today. So stay with me, because I'm going to focus on her actions, not simply her words. I'll break everything down step by step, examining each moment that critics describe as cold or questionable. By the end, that familiar soft smile might look very different to you.
Of this evil bullshit caliber do not have a place on this world.
Start with the image she has created, because you have to understand the polished public persona before you can see why the contrast feels so striking to some people. Meghan Markle has built much of her public identity around kindness, compassion, and empathy, with critics online arguing that these qualities are a major part of her personal brand. She often speaks about supporting others, understanding their struggles, and standing beside people during difficult moments.
Made one dumb mistake, and I'm never being forgiven for it. And this show that they're on, they talk about compassion. There's no compassion for me. There's no compassion for my family. And there's no compassion for the royal.
At the United Nations, she publicly delivered that message of compassion and understanding. Over the years, she has also developed a lifestyle brand centered around candles, calm messaging, and carefully polished warm appearances. To many online critics, her photos, speeches, and various projects seem to communicate the same overall message: that she is compassionate, gentle, and deeply concerned about others. Her supporters, of course, would argue that this is simply the public persona she has chosen to present. But that perceived contrast is exactly what keeps the debate surrounding her image alive. The controversy is unlikely to disappear anytime soon, because when people believe there is a gap between the image someone presents publicly and the behavior they perceive behind the scenes, they naturally start questioning what they are seeing.
Think about it. Meghan got everything she wanted. She got the husband, she got the children, she got the HRA, she got everything that allowed her to rise up and to have that global recognition that we know how badly she wanted.
They begin examining every little detail. And in this situation, The discussion is not focused on one isolated incident. It is about a pattern that critics claim they have seen repeated again and again. Online critics continue to highlight what they see as a clear contrast. Carefully chosen words on one side, and actions that they believe tell a different story on the other. Supporters, however, argue that much of the criticism is based on interpretation, selective clips, and speculation about private family issues. But that is how the internet works. People replay the same moments, compare public statements with perceived actions, and question whether the public persona truly reflects what happens away from the spotlight. That unresolved tension is what keeps the story alive, with every new discussion eventually returning to the same uncomfortable question.
No mystery that Meghan pays people to go after anybody who says anything bad about her. One day, all the Sussex squad will be wiped off the face of the fucking planet, period, along with Meghan.
She appears to travel around the world to support and comfort people whenever the cameras are present. She champions various causes, publishes books centered on kindness, and appears on magazine covers that emphasize her compassionate image. That is the carefully polished persona critics online often point to, portraying her as someone some viewers believe has been presented to the public almost like a symbol of compassion. Now keep that carefully polished image in mind, and compare it with how critics say she has treated the family members closest to her. Showing compassion towards strangers is one thing, critics argue, because those people never see what happens behind the scenes. Family members, however, do. That is why some critics continue questioning what they believe exists behind the carefully maintained public persona. To them, the warmth can appear less like the complete picture and more like an image that has been deliberately managed. Some online commenters have gone even further, claiming that behind the gentle public persona was someone they believe appeared distant toward her own father during his hospitalization. However, that claim remains widely debated and disputed online.
Sending your government officials in to the hospital in the Philippines. Pick up your goddamn mobile phone, call Caroline Graham, you know her number, pass the mobile phone over to Thomas Markle, have a conversation. Anything less than that proves that you're not a human being, which is something that we've known for a long time.
For many months, he couldn't talk, and even now, speaking is still difficult. But he'd give anything for a conversation with his daughter Meghan.
I wish we could sit down and talk. I wish we could work out the differences. Meghan, she loved me. I'm a hero. And suddenly I was thrown out.
Keep that polished public image in mind, then compare it with how critics say she treated her own family. They argue that compassion towards strangers is easy when cameras are present, but family sees what happens behind the scenes. Some online commenters claim she appeared distant toward her father during his serious health struggles. To them, the warmth looks more like a carefully managed image than the complete story. Supporters argue that outsiders never know the full details of private family matters. But critics continue pointing to what they see as a troubling gap between her public image and private relationships.